to the Master Gas Talk Radio Show. This is your boy Q, and good morning. I got the MTG crew with me as well. We got some special guests with us on this morning. But before we get into all of that, I want my crew to say what's up. What's up, Hendrix?
What's up, everybody?
How's it going, bro?
I don't like rain.
I know, man.
My body don't like rain.
It was rain last year, and it's like supposed to get worse, like while we sitting here like it did last year.
Yeah, I know. I don't like rain.
Miss Sunshine is here with us, ladies and gentlemen, but she is working and getting things straight up for us real quick, so I'll have her speak to y'all in just a second. Bo Swag, as usual, is late.
Wait a minute now.
Well, I was late today, too.
Yeah, I'm finna say, now, as far as being late, can't nobody comment today except for me.
Except for you.
Because everybody else was late. Because you even sent the text message last night. What did your text message say? What did your text message say, Q?
9:30.
What did it say?
No, it said make sure you're on time.
No, I said, y'all check out the weather and, be careful, whatever, just make sure y'all here at 9:30.
Thank you.
But usually when I say that, I'm here, right?
I'm not talking about usually. I'm talking about what happened today.
Well, today I apologize.
Okay.
Listen, we have some special guests with us in the studio on today. I have Mr. Mike and Ashley from the Pan-African Connection that's located at 4466 South Marcellus Avenue. That's located right here in Dallas,
Oak Cliff.
Texas. Oak Cliff, that's my hood, 75216. I want them to say hello to you guys. Miss Ashley, good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
And she said, how y'all doing? One wave at the camera. Yeah, we got one right there too. Wave. Yeah. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, man, on such short notice. We really appreciate that, man. Hendrix was telling us a little bit about the kickback that you guys are having, so I definitely want you guys to go into that in just a few seconds. But y'all mind sitting in on the conversation with us real quick?
I ain't got no time.
You ain't got no time?
I ain't got no time, but I got anything.
All right, well, let's get into the conversation real quick. Today's show is sponsored by Master Gas. Again, we do appreciate you guys at Facebook and also Instagram, and also you can follow us at Twitter and YouTube and Snapchat and all that good stuff. So make sure that you guys are following us. We welcome your comments, and if you want to have something to say to us, 214-717-4827. So let's get started with the show on today. Topic: stand or fall, MTG style. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about real quick. Burn up until you shut up. A school bus driver in Silsbee, Texas, of the Silsbee Independent School District, cuts the AC off on disruptive children. This person was a substitute school bus driver. Says kids that even claimed that she wouldn't even let them let the windows down on bus 35. Her name, Sarah Pedler, says that the bus driver was punishing the kids for being rowdy on the way home. One lady says that she has 5 children that rides the bus, and all 5 of them were drenched. And 2 of her kids suffers with eczema, and they broke out in a rash with itching and burning. She kept telling the kids to shut up and all that good stuff. And this is the lady has been suspended. Or actually, the kids actually have been suspended from riding the bus, or whatever the case it is, because they were trying to let the windows down without permission.
I have a question.
So,
now, were these high school students?
well, I'm assuming that these may be younger than high school, because Silsbee, you got to think about it, that's one of those old country towns.
Yeah.
So all of them ride the same bus, but
Right.
probably maybe different times. You may get your elementary, and then you get your middle school. You drop off elementary, and then you grab high school, drop off middle school type deal.
Right.
Kind of like they used to do us when we was growing up. Well,
Right.
I rode the school bus. You went to school in Cadillac, but I rode the school bus. And so that's kind of how they kind of rotate them out. But
Time out. Number one, we ain't had no Cadillac.
you know Cadillac,
No.
what y'all have?
It was a Cutlass.
Cutlass Supreme.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. My cousin used to let me drive his 79 Cutlass Supreme
Ooh, that's
with the
a
412s in the back
That's a nice
and the
car.
Kragers.
That's a nice car.
Yeah. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I don't know. I think the kids, she probably took it too far, but yet and still, kids need to learn how to be mannerable. And if, because I know growing up, when we went to a football game, you couldn't say anything. The bus was quiet. And if we lost, coming back, the bus was quiet. So to me, it's one of those things where you have to learn how to respect your elders. And granted, she probably took it too far, but yet and still, if you're not paying attention and you're not behaving like you're supposed to, you don't want kids, you don't want the teachers, they're taking corporal punishment out of schools now. So what do you expect?
But this is my thing though. Miss Sunshine, you kind of shook your head at this one. I want to get you guys' opinion on this as well. This my thing. I mean, I get that. I get being rowdy and stuff like that because we were rowdy. We were horrible. To some of those bus drivers, throwing paper balls at them. I mean, we were really horrible. Looking back, that's awful. But there was a couple of bus drivers that we knew not to mess with.
Right.
And so, one of them, I think, Mr. Turner. I don't know if you remember Mr. Turner, dark skin, older guy with glasses.
The thick glasses.
Yeah, and Mr. Turner kept a broom on his school bus.
Mm-hmm.
That broom wasn't sweeping. That broom was for us. And so, so we didn't mess with him. And so I knew him by name, as
Right.
you can see. So we knew to get on the bus in the morning time. We knew if he was on the bus, we go to sleep in the morning. In the evening time, just sit down and chill. Half the time, I was on an evening bus because I had band practice and stuff. So, but mornings we knew better. But I just say this. Children and some kids, I believe, when they're not around their parents, the reason why they're acting like that is because that's how they treat their parents. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that kids don't get out of control. But what I am saying is that what you're going to get when you get home, especially if your parents didn't play that. You're going to be the only one on the bus quiet while everybody else talking. You're going to be the only one on the bus quiet because you don't want mom and them to say nothing to you.
Yeah, well, again, it goes back to how kids are raised today versus how it used to be.
Yeah.
And see, nowadays, these kids, most of them, have their own phones. Parents and teachers don't communicate anymore because half the teachers got their kids' phone number, not the parents' phone number.
Wow.
Remember, you had that home phone. That's the only way you were getting away from that home phone is if it was off the hook.
Absolutely.
And even then, sometimes you got busted because you get home, you take it off because the teacher was calling.
Right.
Yeah, no.
So what do y'all have to say? Any thoughts, Mike, Ashley?
Speaking from experience, what's the lady name? Miss Music. They don't miss Music no more. They should have followed the instructions the first time. I'm not saying what she did was right, but we don't know how extreme the kids were being on the bus.
Exactly.
Because it is a safety hazard. If they were standing up, if you're throwing stuff or you being rowdy, then the bus can tip over, especially if you have so many people on it.
And then you have to look at it too. She had to suffer with no AC too.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
You gotta look at these kids are bad. They run around calling themselves savages.
Yeah.
And it's like they spoil. Kids don't have no discipline now. It's like,
Absolutely.
they're being raised by nurturing spirits and they're supposed to have discipline in their life so it can balance them out. And we can't really get mad at the kids because look at the examples they got to look at.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really important,
Yeah.
because well, can we safely say that if kids are so rowdy nowadays, then it's our generation's fault?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Kids have kids.
We're an
Yeah,
example.
kids having kids. And I just tell them punch them in the throat.
And like teenagers have been extended from 13 to 35.
Yeah.
Right,
Wow.
because some of them ain't never
Yeah.
growing
Only
up.
way you can tell the difference is one may look old and one look young. But they still act the same.
Because you know what they say about the average gamer in the U.S.
Oh my God.
The average gamer in the U.S. is 35.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know this, like Jewish kids, when they turn 12, the age of 12 is the age of accountability.
No, 13.
12 or 13, but they start reading out of the law.
Right.
That's why you see the Jewish people are predominantly lawyers in this world.
Right.
They run everything. They're being taught to be over us.
Right. Because that's when they have their what is it called?
Bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
They had a bar mitzvah at 13, but 12 is when they start the whole process.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right about that one.
Just real quick, actually, what happens is that she turned off the AC and wouldn't let the windows down. Now, we were, now I remember we had heat on the bus. AC, if it worked, it only worked like in the front of the bus.
Right.
So, you know, in the back of
never
the bus,
felt in the
everybody,
back of the bus.
you know, had the windows down. So that's what it wasn't then. Before you got on the bus, they say they already have the windows down, wherever the case it is, because they already know it's hot. You know, and so.
We grew up in Farmington. The AC may not have worked no way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't ride the bus, so.
So these cheering in Silsbee, Texas. Silsbee, Texas is one of those, like I said, one of those small schools, school districts and stuff like that. You know, we just want you cheering and act a little bit better, so the bus driver won't be cutting the off on you. You know, y'all do right now. You know, be respectful to your parents and, you know, act like you got some home training. And if not, just risk the fact that you won't have no air when you get on your bus. You know, this is what that is. Let's move on real quick. I want to talk to our guests for a second, you know, so they can introduce what's really coming up here. Speak up, stand out, make a difference. DFW Stop the Violence Kickback. This is going to take place on Saturday, May the 25th, 2019, from 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and this is free. We got our guests here again, Miss Ashley and Mr. Mike is here with us from the Pan African Connection, located at 4466 South Marcellus Avenue in Dallas, Texas. That's right in the Cliff.
If you don't know where it is, take 35, exit Ann Arbor, go down till you see the blue mechanic shop, and then look to the opposite corner. There you go.
It used to be the old family dollar. The old
Right
family
behind,
dollar.
right behind Catfish Floyd. Yeah.
You guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to the
Just to
show.
clarify,
Yes.
the event is happening at Pan African.
Oh, the event. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
sorry,
We're not
guys.
from Pan African.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's inside and outside.
Yeah.
Inside and outside.
So if it's hot, you ain't got no excuse. Go on, get down. We got AC.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
water, Kool-Aid, soda, something cool, y'all.
Got some red Kool-Aid.
Not too sweet, not too sour.
That'll work.
Yeah.
That'll
So you got
work.
red Kool-Aid, huh? What you know about red Kool-Aid?
Now, my favorite is grape or purple.
Right. That'll work. So guys, tell us a little bit about the event that's coming up.
Okay, pretty much, we just had a lot of violence going on. A couple weeks ago, one of my friends called me and told me that our other friend got shot. It was like 7:30 in the morning. And he and I have been talking about, you know, something has to be done in our community regarding the youth, because it's like they don't have good examples. So we were like, forget it, let's just try something, let's do it. And so when we went to Pan African, she was very receptive, and she was like, y'all can just host the event here.
Oh wow.
And ever since then, it's like just different people. We just keep meeting different people and just being so open and nice to us and saying that they would like to help. So now we have people come to speak. We're just telling them to bring the youth, because the goal is to find somebody to mentor a young male to put the gun down. And so you don't have to shoot anybody, because you know they can shoot your grandmother, cousin, friend. You know, everybody knows somebody that has gotten shot. And
Yeah.
at this point, it's getting so bad to the point. I think, what was it, like a couple weekends ago, I heard that, like 2 weeks ago, was like the highest rate of shootings in Dallas that has happened in a long time. So we just wanted to kind of make a difference and make a change. So we decided just to do something, because if nobody else ain't gonna do it, at least we say we tried.
Right.
Yeah, and more so, you know, instead of just point to the problem all the time, we want to like point to a solution.
Right.
You know, and let people understand, like, it's not just like people gonna be sitting down in a conference and then,
Right.
you know, I'm gonna talk for like 5-10 minutes and people gonna perform and dance and let the kids have a good time and like promote to these kids' family.
So it's kind of like a block party with a purpose.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
promote to them family, because these kids don't value family because they never had it. A lot of them never seen it.
Right.
And
Right.
your
Wow.
family is, if you don't have no family, you don't have nothing to fight for, because your family, that's your legacy. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So just want to promote to them and show these young boys, like our young boys out here killing each other because they are not thinking logically like men. They're thinking emotionally. They make their decisions off emotion. And so they still going to react like a man.
Right.
And they just out here killing each other and backbiting over nothing. It's like we're not prospering from it. And the last thing I want to say is like the people that we're getting the information from are the ones who destroy us. Like you can't get information from someone and telling you forget everybody, you don't need nobody. Everybody needs somebody. You need people to watch your kids, you know. Just promote love. That's all I want to do.
Okay. So why don't y'all tell us a little bit about yourselves and like how you all got this started?
Well, I
I am Ashley, and of course I'm an African dancer, so I'm part of an African dancing drum company, so I'm already kind of very involved in the community. I do work with kids all the time, every day, and so I kind of get to see firsthand and experience everything that they go through, hear all the bad stories, you know, mama, somebody got beat up last night, you know, I hear about all those types of things. So, of course, we want to make a difference, and like I said, the last straw for me was when a close friend of mine got shot, almost died, and it's like, hey, we gotta tell these kids to put these guns in.
And Mike, what about you?
And me, so I just want to shine light on the situation. You know, it's like me personally. When you become a parent, you're supposed to protect your child. And it's your responsibility. So it's like I can't just see these kids out here killing each other, even though they might not be my kids. You know, they still children. And if you're a man, a little boy looks at you with admiration. And the men, if we step up and start telling the kid, hey, don't do that, you know, there's a different way, instead of telling them something that's going to lead them to jail or get them killed. Because everything in life has a left and right paradigm.
Right.
And if you only get one side of it, perception is your reality.
Right.
You know, all they're taught is that they can be a drug dealer, a rapper, or an athlete. You know, we don't hear about doctors, engineers, lawyers, all these people got these big buildings and thriving in these communities. We don't hear that. We don't see that. They promote ignorance to us all day long.
Yeah, like the I don't know if you guys seen it. Well, I'm not really sure where it was located, but it was the 700 young black men that all received scholarships. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
You know, stuff like that is not being spread enough.
Yeah, that should have been shared.
Right.
When I see stuff like that, I share it, but they'll
You hear about all the
negative stuff. They'll
but you
share
never
everything
hear
bad.
positive.
And see, you know, and especially in Oak Cliff, you know, we all come from Oak Cliff.
Right.
You know, in the Cliff, it's like, okay, you know, I gotta be on top.
Right.
That's just what I mean. You could be ghetto, bugetto, you could be, you know, whatever. And we've had some wonderful things come out of Cliff. You know, it's a huge diamond in the rough. You know, and so it's like, you know, I do my best, like, you know, my nieces, nephews, and people that I know, their children and stuff like that, you know, try to give them a different way of thinking. You know, I think a lot of our problem is that we react too fast.
Right.
We don't take the time to actually think about some stuff, you know.
You react on a temporary emotion in the present, not thinking about the consequences
Right.
or the
Well,
repercussions of
and-
those actions.
And this is the thing that I've learned is that in the hood, people play the game of life like checkers instead of playing it like chess. See, my dad always told me, look at life and look at any complex situation, look at it like chess. Not just this move, but what's your next move? What are all the counter moves that can be taken against you or that can come at you, and prepare for that. So when something happens, it's not such a huge blow to you. It's kind of like, okay, I kind of expected that. Boom, boom, boom. I can move forward because I already planned for that loss. But I know what I got coming, and I know what I'm gonna do in spite of this loss. So always, but I mean, a lot of young kids now don't even know how to play chess.
No.
So
You know, and you know, and I feel so sorry sometimes, or not sorry in a way that I'm sad for them, but I'm empathetic because they're now putting these programs in school, like for music and I mean stuff that we had growing up that we was happy to pick which one, you know, and then cutting school funding and these kids don't have anything to do with other being in the cell phone. And parents ought to be ashamed of themselves to let their kids eat at the table with their cell phones. See, when we eat dinner at the house, we don't have our phones at the house.
Everybody eats together.
You know what I'm saying? You know, the family sense, the dynamic of the family, you know, it's just dwindling. And even in the neighborhoods, you could go to your neighbor's house and you can eat a little bit or whatever, but they're gonna send you home at a certain time or whatever.
Right.
You know, and so it's just crazy. You know, I just really hate that, and I'm just empathetic to all of that. You know, wow. Thank you guys so much for sharing that information. I want you guys real quick, tell us how to reach y'all. If you got an Instagram, Facebook, anything of that nature, phone number, all that good stuff.
Okay, for the event, DFW Stop the Violence at gmail.com. My Instagram is Miss America, MS America with an H at the end. If you need to reach me, and
See, like my Facebook, his name is Leonard Washington. You know? It's crazy though, because I picked Leonard Washington because that was the realest dude I ever seen.
Okay.
He was a character on the Dave Chappelle show.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah. You know,
I know.
Yeah.
He was just real. Like, he gonna speak his mind. He gonna tell the truth. You know, and the truth is love.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
That'll work. That'll work. Thank you guys. We appreciate
Thanks
that.
for having us.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, y'all can stick around and join us for the conversation for the rest of the show because we're going to get into some stuff. Y'all might have a little fun on the way. Because we like to have a little fun.
A little fun.
Yeah, we like to have a little fun. Just a little fun.
Just a little bit. Just a
Yeah.
smidge.
Just a smidget. Yes.
Rick, let's talk about this poll question.
Okay.
This poll question. So every week we put out a poll. At least 1 or 2 or 3 poll questions, however many we feel like, or whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
And so this is for the poll question for the week. From the desk of Q, that's me. Can you tell when your significant other is cheating on you? 95% says, hell yeah, I know. 5% says, no, I can't say I could. I just have to disagree with this 95%.
Me too.
I agree with you.
I got to
couldn't tell.
disagree.
See, at least you
I
honest.
couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell. Because you know what? Here's the
You can tell.
thing.
You have intuition.
Look, I'm going to tell you right
Men
now.
don't have intuition.
If you could actually tell, there wouldn't be so much drama when people cheat on each other. You wouldn't have these shows like Maury Povich and Divorce Court and Guess Who the Baby Daddy is this
And
week.
Paternity Court.
Yeah, you wouldn't have all this if you could actually tell when your mate was cheating on you.
The woman can tell because our brains are different. When a man is in front of a woman
Mm-hmm.
and he's lying, she can tell he's lying because she can read body language and tone.
Right.
So why do we have all this drama about cheating men if people know?
Here's the thing. There are different levels of cheaters in this world. You have those who really don't care,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just out there to be doing it because they can,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't care to get caught. Those are the ones that, yeah, you usually know.
Mm-hmm.
I've had experience with both, so I get this.
What's the
Then
other
you
one?
then you have the the cheater who doesn't want to get caught because they have everything and anything to lose.
Mm-hmm.
They selfish as fuck. And so so they are slick because they're very secretive. They're not well, not secretive, private. So they're not really out there, you know, not really on social media.
Just kind of cheating on the
They
low.
cheating on the low.
Cheating on the low.
And
But isn't cheating on the low? I mean, even what cheating is, like no matter what.
well, no,
it's
because you
on.
have some that you know they taking their side piece out to every Tom, Dick, and Harry because they don't care. And then you have those, like I said, that they right there in the workplace
That's just kind of how I feel. Like if I feel
screwing
like
everybody and nobody knows until somebody happens to say
and see,
something.
I just feel like I guess maybe this is the older I guess, but I've always been this kind of person. If I'm gonna cheat on you, I'm just gonna do it in your face. I mean, I'm just gonna do it because I don't have time to lie to you. I don't have time to hide from you. I don't have time to do all of that because I'm not saying I'm a horrible liar, but sometimes that stuff catch up with you. And so if you know that you're gonna be doing what you're gonna do, like, look, this is what I'm supposed to do. If you're gonna be here when I get back, okay. If not, okay. I mean. And I think cheaters are, selfish because they want their cake and eat it too, and that's
Why are they
pretty
cheating?
cool.
That's
Because
that's the question I was gonna ask.
That ain't why they cheating.
But
Nah.
no,
Why?
It's like, people are looking for something unique, and everybody is pretty much the same. I could go over here and talk to you, we had the same conversation, go over here and talk to this person, had the same conversation. Everybody's the same. Even music. When Future came out, then what's the dude man came out with Panda? I thought it was the same person.
yeah.
Moneybagg Yo sound just like Young Dolph. Like, everybody's
Today's
the same.
music.
You're just following trends. So if you're looking for something unique and everybody's acting the same, you're constantly looking for something that's missing that you can't find in someone.
Well, I think
You give a
most
person an
cheaters,
option. You shouldn't be with a person to say, hey, I'm not ready.
right?
Move on.
And I think most people cheat not for that. One is selfishness. Two, they're looking to fill a void and they can't communicate with their partner.
Right.
So if you can't communicate with your partner what your void is, or you are saying with your void, then you can't fill that with another body.
Yeah. And then,
You're scared. You're instead of turning that energy internal, you're
Yeah.
expelling it externally, and you're not looking for the real truth. Because usually when people cheat, if you have somebody at home taking care of all their business, take care of the family, and you stepping out on them, you really cheating yourself. You're not cheating that other person. So there's something wrong with you, and a lot of people are scared to turn that mirror on themselves and figure out, hey, what's wrong with me that I want to step out on? So now it's a different story if you're getting beat in, horrible relationship at home. If that's the case, don't cheat. Just leave. Just leave. Because to me, when you start cheating, you get all these other mixed emotions and people involved, and then you're swapping bodily fluids, and it's just too much going on.
And see, that's the thing, Some people, I've been pretty open on the show. I've cheated before. I mean, I have. But the thing is that I didn't cheat until you did. See, and one thing about me, I really have a hard time sometimes trying to understand is why can't I be a different person with you than I am with everybody else? I always tell people there's a master gas me, and then there is me.
Mm-hmm.
The person that I'm with, they see me. They also see the master gas me, but I'm not like that at home. At home, I'm reserved. I'm quiet. I like to cool out. I like to relax. I don't like a lot of stuff going on because I have enough going on as it is.
I got a request to ring the bell.
Okay, I'm just that type of person. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is that some people, I think a lot of cheaters, what they do is they cheat. And this is a different perspective. They cheat because their partners expect too much from them. Like, every time you turn around, if you're insecure, for example, let's just say not insecure in your looks or anything like that, but let's just say, maybe you're insecure about the people that are gravitating to me. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you're insecure, or maybe a little bit maybe envious of, some things that I got going on the outside, and you're not satisfied with me behind closed doors because I'm not the same person.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so I think ladies have a hard time understanding men because we have two different sides. And so
Don't we all kind of have different sides? Though?
Men have two different sides. Women have like a multitude.
multitude of sides.
Look, I was about to say,
Yeah.
I consider myself to be multifaceted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But see, you want guys to fit in just. You want us to be able to adapt to all of the personalities you done developed over
yeah.
there. You've been having ministrations, you've been cramping, all kind of stuff going on. And you want and we'll be right there. You know what I'm saying? And so
goodness.
And so I think that the reason that a lot of things happen, y'all keeping me on time.
Yeah, I got
okay.
it.
Okay. I think a lot of times that they happen is because people not only stop communicating, but they stop being friends.
Thank you. I totally
That's
agree.
not
Supposed to be friends.
friends.
If you're not friends, it's not gonna last.
Yeah, you gotta be friends.
Look at how this society is set up. They promote to everyone's desires.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing on this planet fascinates a man more than a woman's body.
Yeah.
How many times you see a man driving down the street and damn near wrecked looking at a woman? They don't do that looking at no car, no shoes, nothing else.
Actually, I would probably read looking at a car before.
Well,
But that's just me.
He's sapiosexual.
Yeah. See, with me,
Sapiosexual.
to me,
special.
well, to me, there's nothing sexier than a woman's mind. So that's what turns me on.
Yeah, but
So
you don't know her mind when you first see her. You have to be attracted to her physically to get to know her mind.
I'm gonna tell you like this, brother. And I know I'm different, and they'll admit to it.
Yeah.
Like I can see a beautiful woman. Now, initially, it may attract me to it, but if she open her mouth and something, she instantly,
I can understand that.
instantly, just nope.
I can understand that.
However, I can see a woman that's more modestly dressed, not showing everything, and to me, her speech will have me more attracted to her than a half-naked woman standing over in the corner.
And I agree with you, man.
Because
But that's not how all men are built.
But see,
Let's just be honest.
And you know what you just said? You gotta connect the mind and spirit. If all get affected to the flesh, once you have sex, you're gonna lose interest.
Well, see, and the part about going to, and this is where I tell people, I agree with like HBCUs, and I love HBCUs. However, one of the things I can take away from going to a PWI was that there was a multitude of beautiful women. No matter where you looked, all colors of the rainbow, whatever your flavor was, at A&M, they had it.
Like United Nations.
You know, and my sister said something real quick, and then we're gonna go to break. We're gonna listen to some good jams real quick. She says people don't have fun anymore. Everything got to be so serious. Why we have to learn how to be fun and be open to new things. That's another thing, you know. And I fault sometimes the fellas for this, because once we get with that person, we chilling.
You cool in that.
We cool out.
Dating
You know,
more.
we do cool out. I'm not saying that a lot of times that we don't try to keep it
Right.
interesting, but what we do is see once
You get comfortable.
right, and then you run out of ideas, and then when we be like, well, what you want to do? You know, well, I want to go skydiving. Well, you gonna give me a heart attack? What the hell you want me to do?
Look,
Right.
I'm
We
making sure
just-
that life
so-
insurance policy is up to
Right.
date.
Right, but and you know what? I will say this before we go to break. One thing we have to understand: women, as a man, I'm telling you this from a man's perspective. We are only so creative. We will go out and we will design a whole bunch of dates to get you, and then once we get you, our minds kind of go off.
Yeah, you don't want to be a gentleman that long.
No. It's not being a gentleman.
true
It's about
sometimes.
being creative in the dating. Because we have, honestly, I'm gonna tell you like this: most guys, you really want to get to know a guy, go on 12 dates with him.
12 days.
12 dates.
12
That's the
days.
limit.
No. If you go on 12 dates with a guy, most guys have either between 6 to 8 dates that they can plan out and say, hey, this is my rotation. By the time I go on these 6 or 8 dates, I can figure out if I want her, if she want me, boom, 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 cool. Make them go out on 12 before you give them the cookie, and then watch what happens.
Hashtag 12 dates.
All right, and we're gonna go to break. We're gonna go to break, and we're gonna listen to "All I Do" by who is this?
Kirk Whalum and Wendy Moten. I don't know. That was Miss Mo.
And then "Thriving" by Mary J. Blige, and we'll be back, y'all.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Oh.
All right, so again, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, y'all get to see the behind the scenes. We got the background music going on.
I think Miss
We're
Mo
gonna,
out there
Miss
somewhere.
Mo.
Give
Mo,
Ashley
yeah.
and Mike thanks for coming. If y'all want to stay on or however y'all want to do it.
All right.
I'm
I'm gonna pull this over
is,
just a little bit, guys.
Mo Swag is out. She late as usual. But
Good morning,
thank
everybody.
you all,
Good morning.
Thank you, all. Y'all see
Thank
y'all
you so
wanna
much.
join
Good
in on
morning.
Yeah, I thought she
Oh.
Good morning.
Good. I was like, y'all leave it.
Jesse, good morning. Charlotte, hey sis, hey sis. Delisa, thank you for watching. Sean, Nicole, thank you so much.
Not
Sunshine.
today.
You know what?
What's up, sis? Hey, good morning. Dimitri, thank you. Rosalind, thank you so much. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Thank you.
I was here on time.
Hey guys, hey.
Got the mics.
Okay, but you said.
Yeah, good morning,
If she wants to
Charles.
stay, we
What's
can have
going
them share a
on?
mic.
Okay, sure.
They can share a mic. We just need another.
Oh
chair.
God, how did I do
Oh my
that?
gosh.
I got you. I fix
So
it.
yeah.
Now, you stay still. I don't want you to get your sexy white pants
Look,
baby.
I already got them dirty.
Did you get your?
Look, I don't even know.
Hey,
how I
everybody.
got a mark.
My cousin Derek, Tony, Chastity. What's going on? Tony, what's going on? Good morning, everybody. All right, we're gonna see if we can get this. I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit, Miss Sunshine. Okay,
You gonna bring it down?
just a little bit.
Okay.
'Cause I think
here,
it's
you
like-
want me to?
Yeah.
No, that's just
Is that the way that this camera is
That's
doing it?
that's the way it's perceived on the phone. See if you look at his. Oh, what the hell just happened?
Oh, I said turn this up, turn it around a second. Okay. Oh, there it is.
All right,
Sorry.
bro. I need you to slide over just a little bit.
Okay.
Slide
Do
on
you want me to
over.
bring it down?
We good? You think it's good right there?
I think it's good right there.
Okay.
Yeah. And we
Y'all,
can
what
get,
do y'all think out there in TV
We can
land?
see-
How we look? How we looking, everybody?
In
Give us
the
some
internet
hearts.
world?
Give us some hearts and give us some thumbs up and all that good stuff.
and then y'all just
And,
share.
We need to change the camera angle.
How we look
Here.
on camera? Tell us how we look.
Mo could be on that one.
My reply is no. Camera angle good.
Wait a minute. Did Ashley leave you?
No, she just went to Logan's room.
Oh.
Look. He said administrations.
Okay.
Administrations.
Oh, look at you.
Because we have kids, I'm just going. I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Oh, goodness. You know, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't give you a hard time.
Oh, is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
what he tells me all the
okay.
time.
So, you know,
Okay then I'll take it.
yeah. If I'm an ass, you get to know my real side.
Maybe we can change it. Miss Montana, can we get a glass table for the after party south?
A glass table.
And they complain
You mean
about
a round
They
table?
complain about it? We like round tables. You don't think we look good with a round table?
I do.
So she gonna do a freestanding mic. So
So
that's
y'all be
Mo.
afraid now of being in the microphone.
Okay, we need another chair for Mo.
No, I
We
got
got
one.
one.
We
We got
good.
one. Round table.
Hold up, wait a minute. One. So this is mine.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got
so we're
mine.
gonna
He
give
got
him-
his.
Where's your? Oh, they gonna do. Oh, so they can share one. Okay, I got you. I'm a little slow.
Look, I'm gonna slide over.
Okay, Ken.
Just slide.
Yeah, just slide over.
Slide on
Yeah, y'all
over.
come on over.
We get everybody
In the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Let's
work.
see. Q, you not in the camera. You
Yeah,
come
he
this-
is. He's right there. You want to
Okay.
slide the comments over, so you don't have to see the comments because we're not that close to the phone. We can't see the comments over there. We're gonna look at them.
Right there.
Okay,
Okay.
you put your headset on and y'all can use the freestanding mic and then we gonna be good.
All right.
So Mo, you got the
Come on, Mo. This your segment.
Let me tell you what they doing. Where's Ashley? I said, I was in the bathroom.
Mo, this your
Oh, I'm
segment.
sorry. Yes, it is. No glasses.
Oh,
No glasses.
no.
That's why she got lost.
No glasses. Okay, so I took. Oh, we still with.
Yeah.
So I took 30 going to Fort Worth. I said, oh, this is not right. Because I couldn't get over because I was listening to Cheryl Lynn. To be real. And I kept punching the button when you get to reverb. I don't listen to that song about 7 times. To be real. You got to be. So then I was like, shit, I'm supposed to be over there. Then that's why I called you and said, I'm in front of the. I'm the one with the red horse.
So you want me to do the next segment for
No, I'm
you?
gonna do it.
You wanna
Ashley's
do
gonna
it?
help me. She's gonna read.
Oh my God, you are not gonna have our guests read for you.
And she a teacher and you can't read.
Ashley said, I can read one with glasses on.
We're just gonna have to make the print bigger.
Generation Y, help us understand.
Do I need to make the print bigger?
Yeah, this is some small print. I don't have my glasses on either, so but I can kind
My
of make it out.
pastor, Dr. Ralph Douglas West, Pastor Valley Brookhaven. Motherfuckers know y'all did.
Say what?
What?
I had to preface that before I
Yeah,
cussed.
yeah.
Because you talking about you a teacher, you can't read.
I didn't say that.
Look, I can. I just
I didn't
put
say
glasses
that.
on. Shit.
I just said, why would you have our guests read for you? I got my glasses on. I can't leave home without them.
Yeah, because you remember
Good morning,
for
Buster.
6 months when you had that one.
Nicole Daly.
He had the glasses on, and you see that little arm. One of them was missing, baby.
So
Miss
like
Rosalind. Good morning.
For months.
Okay, so
Yes.
Girl.
Before I can get some new ones.
Miss Alicia, where's Adonis
Hey
at this
Derek,
morning?
what's going on, man? Thank you so much for watching.
Generation wise, what ages? What ages did y'all say?
It's
Millennial.
babies born in 1990s.
90.
The
90s
90s.
babies.
90s
Wow.
babies.
Look, internet babies.
All
Yeah.
I do is think about you.
Who sing that? Who sing that?
Mo.
Steve Wonder. Steve Wonder sings
Look,
it.
she
Kurt
ain't
Whalum.
And
Kurt
Kurt
Whalum.
Whalum's son.
Kurt
even
Whalum
falling for it. She ain't even falling for
Cause
it.
he gonna say,
Look.
keep singing it.
No, I was gonna say let him.
Yeah, pretty
Look,
much.
I knew where that was going.
Y'all so mean.
Been there, done that.
Hey, I can't sing either, Mo.
Or dance.
No, I can't dance.
Oh,
either.
okay, so Miss Sunshine, this is what happened. So I was minding my own business in the bathtub.
Wait a
You
minute.
never mind your you say in the bathtub. You never mind your
With your bath moms. And
Did you
some-
fall?
Baby, no, mine ain't slippery. I don't know what's going on with y'all slippery.
Mine's not slippery
Well,
either.
see, I'm older, so I gotta watch where I walk, because my hips go out. That's it.
Look, well, I just wanted to make sure if there was Epsom salt in there, because if I'm in the tub, I like to put a little Epsom salt when I soak. But if you put too much Epsom salt in the water,
It can cause bodily reactions.
yeah, you get dehydrated.
I'm just gonna leave that right there because we don't need to go there.
You get dehydrated.
I only put my booty in the water. What's dehydrated? What is it?
No.
Okay, so
Epsom
you
salt
dropped them in the tub
soaks
and
you. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, so anyway, so it was really warm. Okay, I'm old, so I take a bath every morning. If you want me to go somewhere. So, And so I put the things in there. I was like, ooh, this is fun. So I told my girlfriends, you know, because we're talking in the morning. I was like, ooh, this is, they're like, what you doing? I said, girl, I'm in the bathtub. And look, I said, Miss Sunshine's bath bombs. I said, but they cute, but they're supposed to be round, but they're bombs. But you put them in the bathtub, and they told me to send them. Baby, they got me mailing them one bath bomb. So by the time they get them, it's going to be all crushed up.
It don't matter, it worked.
Well, I mean,
Mine was crushed up when I used it. It
and
worked.
then here they go, the snooty day. So where's the website? I said, girl.
Wait a minute, she gave me
It'll be
stand by.
coming. Oh,
She
stand
gave
by.
me some of her shea butter.
Yes. Oh, I love that
shea
shea
butter.
butter.
I was
Nice.
like, oh my! I have on some right now.
Me too.
Well, see,
Look,
that's
I was
why.
gonna bring you.
My skin is so soft.
I would,
feel my
well,
skin.
no, not you, but I was gonna bring
I'm
Nicole
sure you feel my skin.
some of my body sugar.
We
scrub.
live. Hey.
We are
y'all.
live.
Welcome
Welcome
back.
back.
And Mo Swag has decided to join the show, finally.
She
First
is
of all,
here.
just so we're all on the same page.
Where's your headset?
Because this is
She got a
scripted.
mic.
No.
You see the mic?
Oh, he has.
No,
Oh,
you
you.
don't need a headset, baby.
Oh, you good? Okay.
Just because we know what we're going to talk about in advance and we knew we had guests. We were, if you remember the meeting that you headlined every Wednesday from 7:30 to God knows when, until Perry Mason's off. We had said at the start of the show, you were going to have these great guests on. We're going to discuss it and da 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 da. But you know, we had X amount of chairs. This was all scripted. We knew this. It's not like I was running around downtown getting lost. I was out there.
I saw you come in, Mo.
Yes.
I saw you come
Mo,
in.
you called me at 10:03.
Talking about I'm in front of the
Omni Hotel.
Omni Hotel.
yeah, the red horse dog. Yes.
Mo, what were you doing?
You
over
don't
there?
know what it was. Well, I'm questioning if it was even red because you ain't got some glasses on.
It was red and big. Oh
You know
well,
what?
it was a horse.
Moving on.
Yes, moving
What
on.
does Omni have to do with a horse? All right. So what we're going to talk about in this segment is Generation Y. Help us understand you.
Isn't that a song? Help me understand, or is it a line?
Oh
of a
my
song?
God.
Yes.
Yeah, that's documentary, please.
Look,
Baby, if you make a documentary,
I'll be watching it. Yes. Anybody got a good documentary, please?
it don't have to be a good one. Just a
No, it really
documentary
doesn't. It
on
has to
their-
be interesting. But
Okay, so what we're talking about is Generation Y. What I call is, why the hell are y'all here? That's what I call it.
You cannot say that.
What?
You
I'm sorry.
cannot
I'm
say
not-
that.
Okay, so Generation Y, we need you. Yeah. Why you do what you
why
do?
do we need you?
Or why do you do what you do?
Why did you say that?
Because I don't understand them, because this is what happens. They go out, they go to eat, they're on their phones. They go to the library, no they don't. They go to Starbucks, drink them overpriced drinks, and kidneys don't drink no water, kidneys peeing all yellow. I mean, they don't do nothing. When they're
Orange.
out, orange, all they do is they're on their phones 24/7. They stream, they listen to music, and it's cool to do that, but can you know your history? Can you understand that before Martin Luther King, his name was Michael? Can you understand that the March on Washington in 1963 was orchestrated by Bayard Rustin? You'd like that to know that he was gay.
Okay.
And they had to hide him in the trunk of the cars to go from point A to point B. Can you realize that the students in the civil rights movement was monitored or was moved by the students? And I'm talking about high school and college students. Can you give me that? Can you just give me that which HBCU stand for? Can you give me NAACP with that? You know what? Can you just give me the first stanza that lift every voice in student? I ain't even asking you for the second stanza. I ain't gonna ask you. It's Stony the road we tried. We ain't got to try it on no roads. I just want to know why y'all got these phones and ain't doing shit with them.
You know
But trying
what?
to figure out who's screwing Kim Kardashian. Which
Right.
she
Why is
had
that
more
important?
sex with more black men than I had.
Look, you know,
Well,
if
Now I only had sex with 3, but I'm just saying. And I married one of the 3. So my statistics are damn good. She done had sex with 23, and she married 3. I ain't good in math.
I
but
don't
she
even know
ain't
what
good.
to say after that.
yeah.
I don't even know what to say after that. Because all the Generation Y, they're not like that. What about
All black people can't sing and dance.
Hey.
Or like watermelon. See, that's a problem.
I can't-
We always categorize. Or we always
Okay.
try to lump people. So I'm sorry, you got lumped in it. So you got lumped. Sucks to be you. Take the phone out your hand.
Well, Mo,
convince your your fellow millennials to take the phone out of their hands.
And vote.
Talk to each other.
Vote, or y'all gonna be having these babies out here, cause ain't none of y'all gonna be able to have abortions after 6 or 8 weeks,
Well,
which ain't none of my business.
Well,
I
I'm
thought we
gonna say
said
this.
we weren't gonna talk about that right now because
No.
y'all was a little irritated with that. With
We wasn't
these
a little
bans.
irritated.
Yeah, you was a little irritated. Both of y'all was
No, cause
irritated.
last week
Very.
we said when they coded DNC and they have their private insurance,
Mhm.
Right.
No,
that
but
they still gonna have the abortions, but the ones that
But see, but I wanted to talk about these five, was it 5 or 4 states? These 4 states.
Actually, it's up to 12.
It's going to be 11 because that's what they're going to have. All 11 cases go to the Supreme Court.
So Texas is not in there, is it?
No.
As
They
one of the
right
states?
behind.
They right
I
behind.
know
They
that
doing
they are working towards it.
They
They're
right
doing,
behind it.
yeah,
So,
SB 22.
so let's
They
get
need more
back.
slaves.
Let's get back on track. Let's
Don't
talk
get me
about.
started.
What is she talking about?
Let's talk about
It's
generation.
a process. It's a process.
I know it, baby.
Let's get back on topic. And
So
let's
why?
talk
Why
about-
the millennials?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. And a lot of people are not gonna like it,
Okay.
but it's the generations before 'em. So it's honestly the fault
Of
that
y'all.
with Generation Y
Generation X.
is Generation X.
Am I ex? What,
It-
what
No,
you
my
want?
So
bad.
you baby boomer.
You're a baby boomer. Mom.
You're a baby boomer.
You're on the
Yes.
tail end
You're on
of
the
the
tail.
baby
You're on the
Once
tail
again,
end.
I actually have to do this.
Yeah, you know,
Look it up. Look up
People
baby
been-
boomer.
Baby boomer stops in 59, right?
people have been acclimated to depend on technology more and more. That's all these kids are doing. You know,
Well, and going back to blaming it on the generation
My
before,
thing is-
where I can see this,
If I had Google when I was
is
growing up,
the fact
I'm
that
smart.
we've become dependent on television,
it's
on
making us dumb.
technology to
Right.
babysit
Mm-hmm.
while we trying to multitask other things. I can see that.
I'm like you know, it's like the parents ain't raising the kids no more because it's like we gone 10, 12, 14 hours a day going to work. So who's teaching your kid everything about life?
Exactly.
But we go 10 to 12 hours so we can get them that stuff that we never had, and we making it worse.
And-
And the stuff we never had didn't exist when we were little.
Right.
We didn't have no cell
And
phones.
you survived without it. But just to clarify, baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. Yeah.
And so I'm generation.
So that means that you are the beginning of Generation X now.
So it's my fault that they soccer.
It's all of us.
It's all
All
of
of
Well,
us.
I'll take the.
We ain't taught them nothing.
And
See, they
then,
needed to be in that church in the back seat. You know what? We shouldn't have children's church. You know we should have them children sitting in there so I can go up and down the aisle with my usher suit on and pinch them children and tell them, come on, get here and let's learn this Bible verse. That's
Well,
what we
Mom,
need.
Look,
Mo, that's a whole different subject and a whole different playing field.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know-
and when we changed that carpet from red, everybody had red carpet.
Mo, you just sound so.
Oh,
No, you sound so Lutheran. That's what you sound. You sound real Lutheran. But you know what? I so happen to agree with you because and
Wait,
I'm,
y'all two agree?
yeah, that's a shame.
I have to agree with it because you know, and I'm just now listen. I'm just gonna be general with this. Okay.
Uh-oh, Lord.
Some spiritual values, whether if you are Christian or if you wherever you are, sometimes our spiritual values, and then you know there's the argument now that you know as being black and African American, or I'm sorry, I'm black American for me. I'm not African until I check my DNA. But the thing is that I just say I'm black American because look, I just disagree. I wasn't born in Africa. Now my ancestors might be over there somewhere, but I wasn't born in Africa, and I refuse to say that I'm African when I don't even know what tribe I belong to. So until I find that information out, I'm black. That's just where I feel.
You know what?
And
Here's
so
the funny part when you mention that. If you travel outside this country and you do the customs form, they don't ask. They ask
don't.
if you American. What they ask what country you from.
America.
Your geographical location don't determine what your nationality is.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
it's like nationality comes from the word nation.
Mm-hmm.
America is just a melting pot full of different nationalities.
Right.
So it's like, what is your nationality?
Right.
Right.
You can't be black, can't be African American, because Africans don't even say they're African. They say they from Nigeria,
Yeah.
Sudanese, Morocco.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Can't give us
evil,
a whole
right.
person.
And that was my thing, like, you know, why identify with something that you don't know, you know, and then until you are able to find out about it, then you say, okay, you know what, you know, my people are from Nigeria. You know, I'm Nigerian.
You told
you
you
know,
not to take that test though, didn't
I
you?
didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't take the test.
That's right.
I'm
Don't-
just saying,
don't
I'm
take
not
that
gonna
DNA
take
test.
You
that
just gonna be a black American.
No, yeah,
That's
and
what
because my problem with that DNA test is, if you had that data, where's that data being stored, and who's using it?
Now, what about the it's another kind of test that they're doing. It's not the ancestry. It's the one that's
It's like
giving.
black ancestry.
It's like black ancestry,
African
something
ancestry.
African and something like that. That's supposed to be actually ran through that database.
You
Yeah,
actually
Something
can
like that. I'm
learn
not-
your tribal background
You
there.
gotta ask yourself a question. You know, it's like we lost our identity. They didn't lose theirs. If you have a child and they get amnesia, they might not know who you are, but you know who they are. So it's like people know who you are this whole time. So it's not in their best interest to tell you who you are. So if you're going through Ancestry.com, they already know who you are. They've been and told you if they want you to know.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe one of the issues with the Generation Y will be because we don't know who we are.
Right.
And if we don't know who we are, then we can't expect to teach them something we are clearly blind about.
But see,
But that's why history is so important.
Yes.
You know, I think that's where a lot is lost, is that this generation, not necessarily ours, but this current generation really feels like, you know what, I don't need to know anything about my history. But you know, if you want to, I think, get further in life, you need to know your history. You need to know where you come from. You need to know where the failures and successes have been.
Yeah.
Emphasis on successes, because I don't think there's a good ideal of how much black people have influenced our country. You know, we know the whitewashed version of our history that we learned in school, which is really next to nothing. We were slaves. There's so much more. There's so much more there. And then the idea that we just sat and were slaves. No. People died fighting their masters, running from their masters. There's so much. I'm sorry.
You know how to say the best place to keep a secret
In a book.
is right in front of someone.
Mm-hmm.
What's in everyone's house? Almost everybody in this world have a Bible in their house, but they don't know nothing that it says.
Oh.
They know a little bit, but it's like
because they don't read.
Well, let's see, and I agree with you to a certain extent. However, the Bible is not the best source because, number one, after after King Edward had that whole conclave where they decided which books were going to actually be in the Bible, and they left so many of them out.
okay, yes, now.
That Bible is not. It's a good place to start.
Right. That's good.
It's a good place. It's a good starting point. But however, like you and I were talking before the show, I read the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah, and what they've all told me is that there's similarities between all these religions. They all started from one spot, and then, but all of a sudden they're actually fighting over a piece of land that makes no sense because honestly, if anybody, it belongs to the Muslims, and nobody wants to agree to that.
Okay, so it belongs to like Ishmael.
That's right.
Ismail, yes,
Ishmael's father of Arabs.
yes.
Now, so why couldn't it couldn't belong to us?
It does.
But here's the
Because
problem.
we're him.
It's like we are in this world. We are scraping and trying to get back resources that were stolen from us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everybody, you know, was showing the Bible, but the Bible has never been proven to be plagiarized. History corroborates everything in there. Like every empire, whether it was Babylonian, Persian, Grecian, Roman, we were there. We were slaves there. We built every empire. It was like they put on TV, they indoctrinate you with these images to make you think you were running around Africa with leaves on your ass and swinging on vines.
Right.
But when you in
right.
actuality, you knew how to do everything.
Right,
You know?
and that's where, like I said, it's only a starting point because if you've ever been to Africa, and then they'll show you these images of poor Africans
Right.
on TV, and once you actually step foot on the motherland and you've seen some of these cities that look just like the cities they do here in the U.S. I mean, they may drive on the opposite side of the road, but that's about the biggest difference because you got your slums, you got your nice areas, you got your retail, you got your malls, you got your street vendors, you got your flea markets. It's all the same.
That's what I just said about they indoctrinate you with these images. They
Right.
make you ashamed of your heritage and culture. You know, people ain't gonna want to move to Africa because when they show Africa, they show people starving with flies around them.
Right.
When I grew up, I thought every African was ugly. Then you get older, you see the Ethiopians, and you're like, what in that? Why they didn't show y'all? They didn't show y'all that on TV. You know, and TV is like make believe.
And that, do you not understand that Africans that come over here, they see those same bad images of black people over here?
Yep.
They don't know any better until they actually meet. It's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They it's like, cause I got some friends that are Eritrean, and they look at, you know, when I got first introduced to them, I'm speaking to them like they from the hood. You know, like, you know, they told me, oh, I'm from Houston, so I'm like, well, what up? I'm from Dallas, you know, kick it, cool. They looking at me like, know about you, player. And then we started having the conversation. It's like, well, growing up, we were told that all y'all over here were bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how they seen us on TV.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell y'all what.
Let's
Since
move
Mo
on.
came on her own segment, I'm gonna
Yeah.
help her out.
What?
Yeah.
You supposed to be keeping time, Mo.
Yeah,
You
Mo.
ain't keeping
Well, I
time.
knew you had 37 minutes on the first segment.
Zeta Phi Beta bans transgender women from pledging. That decision has
No
been
comment.
reversed. So of course we talked about it on last week where Zeta Phi Beta, of course, one of the Divine Nine. The Zeta Phi Beta are the ladies of distinction. Their colors are royal blue and white. You know, they have the dove thing going on. You know, and some of the most beautiful women are Zetas, and I have to say that. Actually, Miss Sunshine is representing Zeta Phi Beta on today with her royal blue.
Look, and didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it. So what happens is that Zeta Phi Beta is adopted in January, which states an individual in their bylaws a cisgender woman to join the organization. Cisgender is defined as a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with his or her birth sex. That language, therefore, would ban transgender women from joining the sorority. After harsh feedback on this policy, the organization has reversed the decision and issued an apology. According to Zeta Phi Beta, since founding our organization January 16, 1920, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated has sought to create a sorority that embraces and values all our members, said Zeta Phi Beta in a statement issued to Essence. Sadly, a previous diversity statement made by our organization fell short of those women, something popped up, fell short of that goal, and for that we offer our deepest apologies. Real quick, says here, because I know y'all about to have a fit. The sorority also noted that the organization has already included transgender women who have always been entitled to those same rights, privileges, and responsibilities as any other member, and shall retain those rights, privileges, and responsibilities they were endowed with once they took the oath and became a member. Zeta also says that we have always aimed to foster an inclusive and diverse sisterhood and remain committed to being an organization that embraces scholarship, provides true service, and sets the standard for sisterly love.
Have you finished?
I am done. And Mo, you can't act like that because we're doing it for our people. Okay, so go ahead, Mo. It's something.
Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We appreciate all you've done. As a former Zeta debutante, who's the daughter of a Zeta debutante, whose great grandmother is a Zeta from Bennett College. Y'all are a nice organization. I do not agree with what you said. Have a nice day.
Miss Ashley, since you are a member of Delta Sigma Theta, do you have any thoughts on this?
It's a sisterhood. I should remain as such.
And that's Alpha Kappa Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, Sigma Gamma Rho's line. Official response, correct? For every
It's a
member.
sisterhood,
There we go.
which means you have to be a woman to be a member. This is the reason sororities were created. Just because fraternities are for men and women could not be allowed to join, therefore sororities were created so they could have their own organizations to have that same bond and go forth and be parts of the community. I myself am a Mason. There is no way, no how. I do not care about oh, I was born and I feel. You're not a born man. It is in our bylaws. I'm sorry, no. You can be mad at me. I have no ill will against transgenders at all. I love you. Gay. Hey, we have members in our organization that are outwardly gay. I have no problem with that. My issue is that when you use technology to cross over to something that you are not, then you have no place. Therefore, you need to create your own. Just like with the Eastern Stars. I have no issue with a woman being an Eastern Star. Sister, go ahead, go forth. But if you should ever try to become a Mason, the answer is not no. The answer is hell no. I'm sorry. It is not for you. Don't try and come into an organization that was not for you. For instance, if you a black man, you bleach your skin because you don't want to be a part of the black culture, you don't want to be identified. Do you think the Ku Klux Klan would allow you to become a member? Hell no.
Okay.
Therefore, my advice, if you are a transgender person, I applaud you for coming out. I applaud you for making yourself to who you really want to be. Create your own organization. Do that, and I guarantee you the Divine Nine will be accepting of you.
Okay. Okay. So this is. I'm gonna have to say this because I'm just gonna be honest with you. But first, before I go on my tangents, do you have anything that you'd like to share, Miss Sunshine? And if you fit to find a documentary, we know.
I was not looking up documentaries. I was looking up a specific condition, but I can't find it right now.
Okay.
Howsoever, I do agree and understand
Mm-hmm.
the brotherhood, the sisterhood. Howsoever, I also do know that there have been instances of small instances where kids are born hermaphrodites
Correct.
and or with extremely small penises.
Somebody had sent us a question
And
on that. Yeah.
and in essence are born with both male and female body parts.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day,
But that's not saying how they feel.
No.
but
That's
back in the
Hermaphrodites is
day,
different.
back in the day, it was acceptable for them to make them girls and or make them boys because parents didn't know how to deal with it, and so they would outwardly dress this child as a boy and or as a girl, and that is not how they felt because that is not how they were born. Y'all need to look this up, and I'm sorry I didn't
We
come
got
So,
to
you.
no.
But in that case, how can you sit there and say that this person isn't accepted because
You
they
know
look
what?
a certain type
There
of way?
is a difference. In that case, that is a genetic instance that you have no control over.
So what's
The difference
in
is it's genetic. It's a genetic, and that is the way you were born, not what you put money into to become.
But
That is the difference.
But even using genetics, though, if you genetics can also, and it's proven that people are born and feel different on the inside. That's scientific and psychologically proven. But this is what I'd say, because I know you're about to have a fit. The thing is that, and this is, I agree with what every one of you guys are saying. But this is where I'm coming from. Now, and we got to go to break. Look, you ain't doing right. And so you ain't doing right.
And
You
I will
excited.
say, transgender, you know what, if you really feel strongly about it, create your own organization.
Now that was my thing. I think that we should the same exact way that the founders of these fraternities and sororities had gone about to be included because they were not people in sororities and fraternities of our melon. You create your own, and then you create your own history, and you can be able to do whatever it is as long as the Divine Nine are accepting. Maybe it could be a Divine 10 or 12. Who
Right.
knows? But also we have to look at it like this. The more that these colleges are becoming more inclusive, You can't keep them out. The reason why is because if, just like we're saying, create their own. If a person says, well, I was saying last week, if I was born Jim, but I feel like my name is Jenny on the inside, and if I go through whatever I need to go through to become this Jenny person, if we're saying, okay, you go over there where you belong. You can't be a part of this here that was created for a sisterhood, even though I feel like a sister on the inside. So I get where y'all coming from as being born man or whatever, and a person's feeling, like a female on the inside. But the more that these schools become more inclusive, and more that these things are happening, you can't single people out, because then we're creating a whole separate divide.
Why? Because we don't accept all the females that want to be a part of the organization. So you can't just pick anybody off the street. You got to go to college. Mm-hmm. You got to have a certain amount of hours. You got to have community service hours. So why do I have to accept you? Why do we always have to accept everything from everybody? They didn't accept us. And I had to work to get the letters.
Absolutely.
Here's the other
it's
part.
Like, go create your own. At our college, we didn't have cheerleaders. We were the only college who didn't have cheerleaders. So guess what we did?
We created our own cheerleaders.
We created our own, a black girl.
This is the other thing. And for those that don't understand the pledging process,
and we understand people don't, so they don't know.
Right. The whole pledging process is geared towards making you a better man, making you a better woman. It is designed to
weed people out.
Weed you out and get rid of those that do not belong. Yes. However, if you are a woman and if you try to become a man, or you have the transition to a man, mentally, physically, you may look like a man, but physically and mentally, you will not make it through the process.
Well, Sunshine, take us a break. Let's continue talking about this on the break real quick.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go to break with Stars by Kindred, The Family Soul, and Better Without You, Kelly Rowland.
Ooh, Kelly. Hey, I know you married, Kelly, but, if you feeling loose, holla at your boy.
When Kelly was single and you said that, she said no, remember?
No, but when Kelly was single, I was actually in New Mexico.
You said you went up to her and she.
No, that's when that's when we was in college though. When I was in college.
Okay, she was single then, baby.
Yeah.
She felt the vibe.
No, I wasn't.
I know you wasn't. You wasn't.
I'm shy around pretty women that I'm attracted to.
Pretty women that you're attracted to. Okay,
yeah. So I'm just a little shy.
So Mo, I do. I'm with.
That hurt me to the core because baby, Zeta Phi Beta is what I love.
Okay, but let me ask this. Okay, so can I just let me ask this, and I don't know why I'm gonna do
Sharon,
this.
I agree with you. Sharon Johnson, Sharon, I agree with you. Yes, character is supreme. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, when I stand in my garage, I ain't no damn car. That's all I got to say.
You know what, Mo, you're right. But this is the thing, Mo.
I don't feel like
it's the exact same way, y'all. I'm with y'all. I promise to God I'm with y'all.
I know, but you're right, and I hate that you're right because you came out right. I was like, how the hell did they agree with Q? He's wrong.
I told you because I said, you know what, y'all. They're gonna have to reverse it, because if we're talking about, especially being black in our black schools, Spelman has been allowing transgender women going to their school since 2017, and Morehouse just started. We started next year.
And you know why? Because they don't have the money.
Because
they gave the damn money back to Cosby. Had they shut their asses up and kept his money, they wouldn't have had to be.
And hold up, this is for Sharon. Actually, men can be Eastern Stars.
Yes.
To be an Eastern Star, you first have to be a Mason.
You have to be a Mason.
You have to be a Mason first.
And then you can become an Eastern Star.
Yes.
But
and
there's a process at every elevation. There's a process.
I am. That's a Mason there. There's a Mason there.
I'm not active.
Star here.
I haven't been active for years.
So don't.
I don't know much, but I do know.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. With the background check that is done, when you become a Mason,
it is done.
They do a very thorough background check. Like, why did you bounce this check like 3 years ago? Oh shit. Yeah, we know about that. Oh, my bad.
Because all they gotta do is call up somebody in law enforcement.
the one that I got was, why were you speeding in Calvert, Texas? You know you shouldn't have been speeding. Oh, yeah, that was me.
I got one.
Small
too.
town.
Why did your dad? I said, I don't know. I don't know why he did that, and bless his heart.
And then they ask you questions like, well, you know, your grandfather wasn't buried with full Masonic rites. Why is that? I was 6 when he died. I don't know.
Hey,
don't-
that's the only thing to say me. They're like, your grandfather and your both maternal and paternal. I said, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're the only ones to save me.
I was like, and then what I told him was, hold on, let me call my cousin real quick and find out. I can do that for you, but asking me personally, I don't know.
That's the only way I got in. They was right. I was like, woo, I got in. Because if it was on my own ability, they'd be like, get there. Like,
Well, I mean, that's when being a legacy does help.
woo.
But let me tell you, I don't know how, you know, if, you know, like Ashley is, you said you're a Delta.
Yeah.
I have friends that are Deltas and AKA, with every sorority, except really SG Row, because I don't think I know anybody that's SG Row out here in the South. And I know it's really huge on the East Coast. I know it's really huge out there. And Zeta Phi Beta. And I've gone to a lot of the events and stuff, and then, you know, of course, Prairie View and all this good stuff, you know, I got a good mix of it. It was just, to me, I'm just trying to figure this out, you know. I'm really hurt because I know I have friends that are transgender. I have friends, you know, and I'm just thinking like, okay, well, one side of me is like, well, y'all, don't just make it home. You know, I mean, you know, now I know that there are gay and lesbian fraternity and sorority people in Divine Nine. So, okay, cool, you know, but that's what they were born, man, woman. That's what they were born. Okay.
Here's what most people don't know. There are gay and lesbian fraternities and sororities.
Yeah, but they're not great though.
No, here's the problem. To me, the problem is you don't want to put in the work that's required to create and form your own organization. If you really wanted it, you go out there and do the work to grind and create your own.
And then some of them will say, and this is what I heard, someone will say, I want to become one of the real, wait. You want to become one of the so-called real organizations, Divine Nine. That's what you're telling me.
I'm sorry. I didn't understand. My bad. I reread that, Sharon.
He can't read. He's a chemical engineer with 4 cars and a 3-car garage and travels extensively, ladies. He's single, no children. I'm trying to get him married off.
Why are you trying to get me married off?
But he can't read worth of it. He can
Look.
read, but he can, you know.
Look, I read differently than other people.
He has his glasses on. Don't you have your contacts?
I got my contacts
He has
on.
contacts, and he was talking about me not being able to read or see.
I got my contacts on though. I either have my contacts or my glasses. I always
We
go.
need to play the game.
We can play the game when we come back. Let's play the game.
Games people play. How well do you know your co-host?
That's where we'll start. We'll start right there.
Hey Q, since you're the leader of us and you're a man who has an ordained minister, can I give you my change so you can go put it in the meter downstairs in front of the building?
And we over here like,
I need some judges in my
I
meter
thought you
too.
downloaded the app.
Yeah, if you download the Sparking mobile app, you can just add it to it.
That's my
Hey,
new
everybody.
thing. I just download that app, type in my number, and we'll be
Oh
on.
no, I'm sorry. I did download the app, didn't know how to use it.
You couldn't put your credit card, your debit card on there. That's what.
Debit card,
Yeah,
credit card.
you can do either one.
Why couldn't I do it? Because I
I
found
need
it.
to run out 11:40. We just hope it's raining by that time we get downstairs. and get
Look,
it
I ain't never.
So is that a no?
What?
Yes.
Even though it looks like there's somebody out there with a yellow.
Oh, you have to go down now?
Got my change.
No, that's somebody in the parking lot.
Hurry up,
That
Mom.
ain't.
It's in the front.
I know.
That's
Hurry
not
up.
a. worker.
Okay.
Why you take your purse like you Shirley Wood?
Oh, you. Ooh, goodness. I ain't seen one of these in a minute.
and then if they try to see me without it on, it's like, nah, I need to add you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet. That's
Yeah.
impressive, though. That's impressive. Don't y'all have an American Express with the A&M?
Got everything.
I don't know about American Express, but I got a Visa. I do have a Visa with it.
So I went out there. So I went out there. Someplace I shouldn't go. I looked at my car club. Everybody was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
See, I kind of also, I go back when we start talking about, you know, transgender, gay, lesbian, the whole nine,
Ooh.
is really truly, why would anyone put themselves out there in such
That's-
a way that most of the world stands against you.
Mm-hmm.
Guess where they get the funding for their movements from? Who's funding their movements? They get the money from the civil rights movement because they're now considered the minority. Money that, like our ancestors, like water hoses and dogs, supposed to belong to us, but now they're considered minorities, so they get the money.
And to me, I say create your own organization. That will solve all the issues.
Okay.
Create your own organization. And you Sharon, define what it is to be a transgender. And defining is fine. But honestly,
In all honesty, I feel like we would need to have somebody who
Who's
is transgender
Yeah.
on the show?
on the show.
to actually speak on
And we actually we went to school with a few.
yeah.
And maybe I think
He
I
totally
wish
missed your point. I
Okay.
missed your point.
maybe we can have someone come
I
in,
missed your point.
you know, and talk to us about it. Cause I'm
I'm sorry.
I'm loving everybody.
I love everybody.
We are live. You are live. Welcome back to the show, guys. Hey, listen, if you want to join the conversation with us, 214-717-4827. You guys can conversate with myself and the MTG crew. Again, we are discussing some great topics. Real quick here, I wanted to play a game with my co-host, but I think I'll try to save it to the last segment because I think we're having some good conversation real quick. So again, make sure that you gravitate and get yourselves out to the Speak Up and Stand Out, Make a Difference violence kickback that's going to be happening at the Pan-African Connection at 4466 South Marsalis Avenue. That's found right here in the DF Texas.
Okay.
75216.
That's my hood.
Make sure you guys come out. They have some great information for you. And again, this is an actual welcome thing that we actually need in our community to help stop the violence in our communities. And so make sure that you guys are able to get out there. We're going to definitely try our best. We get out the show at 12 o'clock, so we try to run and stop by next Saturday. If I'm unable to get there, my little niece graduates next Saturday, and she graduates at 9 o'clock in the morning, so I don't know how long that's going to last. But congratulations, Maya. It's my first little niece, and I'm going to be somewhere crying. All right, so let's go ahead and move on with the show real quick. We were talking about Zeta Phi Beta, but let's go ahead and move on real quick. I think I want to talk about something that is going to probably aggravate all of us real quick, and that is justice for 4-year-old Malaya Davis. If you guys do not remember who Malaya Davis is the little girl that was in Houston, Texas, and she came up missing. She was only 4 years old. It ended up, turns out that her stepfather was arrested for Malaya's disappearance and probably her death because they haven't found her body yet. Issue is that he made up this elaborate story. And after the police dug through his story, they found blood, they found fluids from her, or whatever the case is, and he refused to tell where her body is located. At this point in time, he had a court date of and what happens is it turned into a volatile scene because protesters were definitely marching out of the courthouse. And also what was going on is that protesters were shouting out that her mother should be punished as well. All right, so we're not gonna spend a lot of time on this. You know, first off, again, rest in peace, Malaya. You know, that's just, you know, horrible. Prayers for her family, and I will say for her mom, even though, you know, things kind of came out about her mama, you know, but prayers to her because she lost her little girl. Now, what y'all think about that? I mean,
I'm dumbfounded.
I have a 4-year-old. I'm broken.
I'm trying to understand what type of parent stands by somebody that does something to their child.
Just don't get it, man. I'm trying.
I don't get it because
they had something to do with it.
you think they had something to do with it.
To me, that is the only thing that would keep me with somebody who hurt my child, is if I had something to do with it. Because otherwise, that person is dead.
Absolutely.
look, police, I need you. This mofo killed or did something to my child, and they about to be dead too. So you know, just go ahead, bring an ambulance and a police guard because you're gonna have to take me away.
Yeah.
You gonna die. You will die. You hurt my child.
I'm just what I'm just flabbergasted about it. I want you guys' opinion. What I'm just so stunned about was the fact that you told this elaborate story and the mama act like she was just a deer in freaking headlights. Now now according to kind of a little back scene that I kind of got, allegedly we're gonna do that because I know some people in Houston, so they did a little digging for me, is that she was being abused by him, allegedly being abused by him, and so that's supposed to come out. But my issue is that why would you let your child go with someone who abused you?
Because majority of us grow up in dysfunction.
Mm.
When you grow up in dysfunction, you think it's normal. And, you know,
Wow.
for real, like we're taught a lot of messed up things. Like in the black community, what is the standard? You know, we allow so much stuff to go on among ourselves.
Where is the standard?
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
got to say something. Like you can't go out to these other communities and do all this stuff. You know, you go out to these other communities. You know, the moms at the PTA meetings. You know, they all go to the same church, and they're like the whole neighborhood is like a family.
Yeah.
They look out for each other. You know, back in the day, they used to have every home used to have a front porch, because somebody's grandmother was sitting on the front porch looking out for these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's none of it. Everybody has like crab in the bucket mentality, and we just eating each other up, and we're eating up the same people who are going through the same plight with.
And the thing is that now again, this is allegedly, but this is kind of what I got. It's supposedly that this guy had the mentality, if I don't have you, nobody can. And so while the mother was in the process of trying to break up with this guy, he felt like he could kind of take her daughter from her. You know, that kind of thinking to me. And now look, we can say it's sick and twisted and stuff like that, but people actually think that work. Folk think that work. You know, I've dealt with, you know, I've been preaching 21 years this year. You know, I'm one of them bootleg preachers, forgive me. But at the same time, what I do is I counsel, I life coach. I see a lot of stuff, mental things going on, and it's really draining. You know, but one thing, you know, I can say is that what you want to do, the hardest thing for us to do as a community, no matter what we do, especially if somebody did it to us, is have compassion. That is missing.
I can have compassion for anybody as long as they don't hurt any
that's
animals or
true.
children.
That's
you start
true.
messing with animals and children.
But see that's true. But then on the flip side, you know, nobody. Let's say that you may need that same compassion because we don't know what's in our future. We don't know what it holds. Now I'm not saying that this guy deserved any less punishment that he should get. I'm just saying that, you know, if we don't start loving on one another like we're supposed to love and being upfront with people, you know, stuff like this is gonna happen. Because I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I used to hear my mama tell my sisters all the time is, if you want to know what kind of guy you dealing with, the first thing you need to do, if you see that he's jealous, move around. And I'm like, well, that don't make sense, because sometimes I get a little jealous, but then I'm just like, okay, well, that's you. You do what you do. You know, I'm chill with it. Everybody have a little smidgen of envy, but if you're gonna take it to the next level to hurt somebody because you want to go, bye.
I will say
She
this.
ain't mine no way.
I will say this.
Well, she ain't. He was a stepdaddy.
No, they weren't even married.
They weren't even married.
Well, it's a stepfather.
They weren't married.
Living in the home.
They were just living in the home.
Oh,
but
they
you know,
was-
in Texas, you know,
Common law.
common law, man.
Common law.
Here's the thing that I find very interesting. If you look at most guys, not all, but most guys that are abusive, that are controlling, and that are like overpowering of their women, they suffer from LDS.
And not Church of Latter-day Saints.
No,
But you know what? But
they
that-
come up short.
But that's not the case. I'm sure.
No, it is.
Look, this is-
Every woman that I've talked to that has been in an abusive relationship, they say the same thing about any guy that they've been with that has been very controlling and very like overly aggressive and abusive. They say the same thing about him. You come up short, bruh. If you come up short, know your place.
Well, then why they with him? I'm a woman. And
Look,
if you come up short, then we
look,
just
if you
friends.
come up short, that means every guy that's like that also has something to counteract it. They're usually very flashy. They usually very like out there. They got a lot of money they throwing around, and that's what attracts women.
If you come up short,
And again, they come up short because you can provide them with all that stuff, but if you're not banging their back out, they're gonna probably cheat on you, and you scared they're gonna cheat on you and leave.
Well, okay, well,
It's
well,
real simple.
Okay, well-
you come up short.
Well, I mean,
but,
because
I can agree to an extent,
I mean, to
but
an
I think
extent.
most women anyway, are a little more, are a little deeper.
No, I understand women are deeper than that. I'm not
For the most part.
I'm not speaking
I'm
on
not
women.
saying there ain't women out there.
Right, I'm not speaking on women. I'm not speaking on women. I can't speak on what a woman does because I ain't ever been a woman. I don't know. What I can speak on is dudes and why guys act the way they do. They insecure. Most guys' insecurity lies between their legs.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
yikes.
Well, most women's insecurity lies between their legs as well, but let me ask y'all this. Why are y'all not blaming her? She got 5 kids by 7 different men. What's up with her? Because look, I'm not, and don't take this the wrong way. People will say I don't have any maternal instincts,
Okay.
but I do have instincts if something ain't right with you.
Mo, I'm gonna tell
All
you like
women
this.
have some maternal instinct.
Well, she done had it 5 times.
Look,
Something ain't right with them 5
Well, I mean, just
babies.
because you have a child, that doesn't make you maternal.
And that too.
Right,
That's
but
the problem.
that's the problem because she got all 5 of her children taken away. CPS just gave them back.
Mo.
So
here's-
when are we gonna blame the women or the females? Because they're
Here's-
not women and they're
this
not
is,
mothers.
This is what I was saying. I guarantee you, he was providing for those kids.
Something along those lines.
He was providing something that she could not do or she could not find on her own. Yes, to me, they're both to blame. And again, I can only speak from a male perspective because I ain't never been a woman, so I ain't never been through that side. I don't know that. All I can speak on is from a male's perspective. He was probably providing her something, or he did something to her. He either provided her with something, or he got into her head where he was manipulating her mentally
Got into her head.
But listen, and my thing
because he
is,
couldn't break her back out.
I mean-
She had 5 kids. Shit,
I mean,
she
okay.
probably big as
You
hell.
ain't got to do nothing to make a baby.
well, I mean, but you know what? Now, you know, well, I think, you know, you crazy. Something
That birth
something's
canal
wrong.
should be called the Grand
I
Canyon.
I'm gonna say this now. Of course,
Sweet.
you know, to add to what Hendrick is saying, because I'm not gonna say that some guys fall short and breaking back out. There are some guys out there that beat their women because they had no own control in their lives. Guys, y'all know how it is when we grew up. If you didn't have a certain kind of clout around your friends, you fell short.
But a man is not supposed to have no insecurities.
Thank you.
Well,
He's
yeah.
supposed to show strength so a woman can desire that strength, you know what I'm saying, and depend on it. But it's like a lot of us in this generation now, we don't really have no men no more. We have women and women with male genitalia. Because the women are raising the kids, then they go to school from elementary to high school and they're around women all day. And they're picking up on the female emotional side.
And what I don't understand, the crew that I roll with, we didn't care about what people had and what you could and could not do. I roll with Q, you know this. The
Yeah.
crew I ran with we were very odd. We were oddballs. So we were athletic, we were smart. Yeah, we had a little money what everybody didn't see was most of us during the summertime, we were working 60 hours a week and going to the gym right after work and doing all this other stuff. So when school time came, yeah, we could floss a little bit. Yeah, we had all the Jordans. Yeah, we had the cars. But you didn't see the work we put in during the summertime. All you saw was, oh, they come to school. They got on polo head to toe, rocking the new J's. But hell, we worked our ass off during the
Now
summertime.
hold up. Now we're talking about securities and stuff, and what a man is supposed to be as far as security. That's where I think there's been failure we are failing to identify what should make a man secure. You know, and women, you know, they want the flashy, they want the guy that has this and they have that, and you know, because they want to look a certain way, and everybody wants to be Kim Kardashian. No, we need to realize what it really is to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
The work that you put in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's acknowledge the work that you put in.
And the endurance.
And exactly. And stop looking at the things that we have.
And men got to realize that just because you're a man, everything is not a masculine trait.
Right.
Some of the things are feminine traits and stuff. You're projecting. Because you know,
Mhm.
you grow up, you react the way you seen your mom react to something. So that's why they're so like emotional. You know, they react certain ways.
And
so
that's
the
where
rage comes out.
And that's where, like I said, my dad always told me, look at life like chess. Don't look one move ahead. You gotta look 5, 6, 7 moves ahead. So when stuff happens to you, you're not thrown off, and you're not as shook. Because in chess, you're not worried about a couple pawns being taken or your rook. Okay, well, as long as I got my king and my queen, and maybe you know, my bishop or something, I'm cool. I can rock this. But you looking at, you know, every little thing, you're gonna take losses. As a man, you have to understand that you are going to take losses. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's how you come back from those losses that really makes you a man.
Okay, but then at the same time saying that, now, because I agree with that, but this is where the issue sometimes run into. If we are taught like we're supposed to be taught to think 2 and 3 steps ahead, what is that sometimes, not all women, but some women, especially independent women, they like to get on the dance floor and do their own thing. They got their own car, they got their own house, they got their own this, that, and the other. When you thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead, she's already 10. And so the thing is that if especially if you run across a lady that has her own stuff, we still behind. And when you get with him, and when you get with this guy that
That
has
makes him feel insecure.
there you go. And so
I feel you, and I follow where you're going. But this is what
But
you
to
gotta
me,
understand.
That should give him.
This should give you pause. If that woman that got everything that she wants and needs, but she ain't got no man, is because a man ain't been strong enough to understand that. What you need to know is that the queen is on the chessboard. We'll take the chess. The queen can do whatever she wants on that chessboard, but at the end of the day, the goal is to protect the king. And if you
Absolutely.
understand that, you gonna always have your queen back.
well, see,
Point blank period.
I always look at it like this. I always say that a woman's job is to protect her man. People say, well, why would you say that? Because the woman is the queen of the house. A man can go and do whatever he needs to do to take care of what you need to take care of, but when he comes home, she protects him.
Yep.
That's what she's for. It's like she's his rib. He's the internal organs. The ribs hold him
She's
together.
supposed to be a pillar of rest.
Absolutely.
There you
Everything,
go.
and she keeps him together, keeps his mind straight, keep everything balanced for him. But see, everything comes out of balance is when we start thinking too separately, and we want individuality and independence in relationships.
But what you don't understand is the woman is supposed to be the second in command. This is what most people don't understand.
Now you know.
No.
You're gonna get some backlash with that. You already know
If
that.
you listen to me
No,
and let me explain,
Look, I'm down with that.
let me
But
explain.
today's men are made the same way.
This is what you have to
Oh,
understand.
this go crazy.
Look, woman is supposed to be second in command. The second in command, anytime you look at rankings, the most dangerous person is not number 1. It's always number 2. Number 2 is always the most dangerous person. Not only because they got everybody else coming for them, which most women have to put up with, because most women are trying to get to their man, so they coming for that woman. Not only that, but she's supposed to have that man back, right? And if she got that man back, that means all his weaknesses she know. So she could destroy him at any point in time, but she chooses not to. That is the most dangerous person.
Okay, so
Go ahead, Mom.
Am I?
since I've been a woman longer than y'all have, the problem here, which y'all don't get, is women who are not in successful relationships, one after the other, are always choosing beneath them.
Okay.
You know, they choose
What?
beneath them.
Water
No,
seeks its own level. Don't
they
drown.
they choose beneath them because a man with success, a lot of the time, a man with success, I shouldn't say a man, a male with success, because there is a difference. A male with success does not understand what his true worth is either.
And that's
Just
what I'm saying.
like a
Yeah,
woman.
well, that's still below. If you're equally yoked. If you see, success is not money or things.
Right.
Success
Nothing to do
is
with me.
no,
See?
right, nothing. See, so when, and I charge and I blame women every single time. Because I don't know if it's first or second, I don't know if it's a pawn or a ship or a queen or whatever on the board.
Ain't no shit.
Okay, this is what I do know.
Mhm.
The most powerful person in a family is a woman.
Absolutely.
Because she brings life.
Mhm.
But most important, because she nurtures that life.
Mhm.
See, everyone thinks Obama was a great person. I'm not even saying Michelle was a great person because, you know, they used to call him Barry. Then she said, no, your name is Barack.
Mhm.
But the one who gave him life was his mother. But the one who nurtured it was his grandmother.
Mhm.
She was the one who told him, you're going to have problems, but this is how you work around it. You know, you're not doing the best in school, but this is what you have to do. And she didn't even just use it with her words. She showed him, having no education, having no formal training in college, how she moved up to be vice president of a bank.
Mhm.
It's hard work. It's perseverance.
Right.
So when I tell y'all that these women who got these sorry ass men, don't blame the men because they were always sorry to that degree. And I don't knock any man. I knock the women because they know. You know when you with a man who's not a real man. But he's not a real man for you. He could be a real man for somebody
You
else.
feel about that? It's like it's a major disconnection because it's like our women are taught to be strong and independent, and they like are in a unnatural role now because they have to take on two roles. And our men, you know, they have been taught to be docile and weak, and he's frustrated because he can't execute his role, you know, but he don't want to get out of his docile, weak state. And you know,
Well, he can't because, you know, he's tired of getting beat down.
Yeah, and
He's
like,
beat down by society,
what
beat down by
substance of
women.
growth can you have from tearing down?
But here,
That's
this
what
is
I'm
this
talking
is
about.
what most people miss in a relationship. That man should be able to come home and expose all his weaknesses to that woman, so she can nurture him and build him up, so he can get back out there.
But you know what?
But as a man, you have to be able to provide for that woman to be able to do that. You have to put her in an environment so she can do that for
And
you.
these days, they can turn that strength against us. It's
Right.
like the man and the woman supposed to be together. That's your power.
Divide
Mhm.
and
You know what I'm
conquer.
saying?
Yep.
It's like she can see things that you can't see.
Right?
You know, and a man is logical. A woman is great at analyzing. They can even learn languages better or whatever. But, I mean, and they can pay attention to detail. A woman can walk out there and see everything in that parking lot. But they have trouble solving the problem. And even if they don't solve their problem, if they talk to someone about their problem, they still feel a little bit better.
Right.
But if you got somebody that can give you every possible scenario, and you got someone here that can give you the best logical answer, bam. You know, hey, there go your best answer right there. That shows that y'all are supposed to go together.
Well, real quick, let's go on break. Real quick, let's continue talking about this on our break. Listen, we appreciate everything, guys. Hey, we go. Our music today is called "Songs That Got Me Through." We're gonna be listening to "Bad Girls" by Donna Summers. That was Miss Sunshine's selection, and "Wake Up in the Sky" by Gucci Mane, Bruno Mars, and Kodak Black. That's my jam.
Yeah.
They got you through?
We get
Not,
through.
you're an
baby.
ordained minister, not
We'll
I'm
be right
grateful.
back.
Look.
I'm grateful.
You know what?
I didn't want to put no, because that song right there puts me to sleep.
You know,
That song puts me to sleep.
You know what?
we need to talk about our poll question.
No, I thought we was gonna play the game. Let's play the game.
Okay, let's play the game.
Let's play the
Okay,
game.
let's play the game. So we don't have
thank
them. We don't have no cards or nothing like that, or the thing in the middle. So let's go like this. Okay, so games people play. How well do you know your co-host? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the room or whatever the case is, starting with you, and you're gonna ask us a question that we should know about you.
Oh, I wrote them.
I know that, but we're
We're
not looking at
not
that.
playing it like that.
Okay.
We doing it on the
Tell
fly.
you what they're gonna do on Wednesday. And you follow it. You come here Saturday, you don't know their voice. And then they ask for the questions. I said,
But hey, we.
Well, Mo, so to ask one question.
You know what? This is what we if you properly plan for shit, you got it covered. You can roll
The
with
6
punches.
P's, proper planning
Prevents piss poor
I
performance.
thought they would put the piss in there because you know.
Yes,
Oh,
Miss Jerome, please. Go ahead. We're not requesting songs to
That's the
play
12
today.
P's. That's
Go ahead, Dan.
y'all. We do 5, but I feel where you're coming from. I feel where
Okay.
you're coming
So
from.
what you got, Mo? What should we know about you?
No, we gonna do it, Mr. Brady.
Oh, y'all. Oh, I thought we
No,
was
we
playing
gonna
it
do
now.
it. No, we
Oh,
gonna do it on
okay.
the show.
Okay,
We gonna-
so let's get back to these relationships and y'all talking about being equally yoked and all this kind of stuff. But y'all know I'm a twisted Aquarius. I'm twisted, you know.
Is that what we call them?
What's an Aquarius? I mean.
I'm a
We
twisted
float.
Aquarius.
I'm not
you know,
Aquarius, so I'm Pisces.
I'm the
Same
type
day.
of person that I like variety. My thing is that, you know, I adapt to circumstances, situations, but the issue is that even though I may hurt sometimes on the inside, I do
I show it on
tend
the
to,
outside.
you know, hide my stuff, but bitch, you won't get away.
Wait, preacher.
You won't get away with it. They need,
Good.
you know, preachers need to be using bitch in the pulpit. They do. If
I say keep life real.
I agree with that.
I mean, you know, because
if
my
you
thing
cussing behind closed doors, you need to be cussing.
If you,
not
because
in my
you
eyes,
know, let me
though.
tell you
I don't
something.
want
Because
that.
I just found out some real disturbing things about because I took a real quick trip out there to Houston. I came on back. Y'all didn't even know it. I went out there and came on back.
You said you was stopping that turkey leg hunt.
And then
That was,
you
I'm
ask,
talking about this week.
no,
Oh,
to
look,
my
he
ass,
made another
I
trip.
asked
He
for
made
you.
another trip.
I mean, no,
And you wonder why I be calling you a harlot.
And you still don't give me no chicken? You didn't get no pig, no 2 piece?
well, you know, they moved French's more. I hadn't gone down there in
Go ahead,
34.
you went to Harley, you went to
So I went out there and I met with, I met with a pastor friend of mine, and we were talking about some things, whatever, that he wasn't understanding that was starting to happen in his congregation. And so we got down to some nitty gritty. But one thing that I just didn't find cool is that you letting 4 of your preachers in your church mess around with the same group of women, but you don't want to say nothing to them because you don't want to lose their membership and you don't want to lose the things that come with this. And we're not
Why I'm
talking
not in
about,
church.
we're not talking
Hashtag why I'm
about,
not in church.
we're not talking about such a small church. We're talking about a medium-sized church, let's say 400 members. Now I get it because even even Joel Osteen required Lakewood to do a lot. Well, not as much, but do something to keep that wonderful edifice they have going and stuff like that. But it's deeper than that when it comes to this our skin color because we pull people in and they money by emotions. So when I get your money from you for your tithes and offering, that's another thing we should talk about because I don't think people should be paying tithes. But that's a whole nother different situation.
I'm trying to figure out where tithing came from because tithing is Greek. And how is tithing in the Bible when it was originally written in Hebrew? Make that make sense to me.
Well,
You're not supposed to pay tithes, you're supposed to pay tithes to the medical priest.
Right, but that's
legal.
but instead of digging into all of that, let's just keep it surface. When y'all come back to the show, like for real, we want to have y'all. Seriously. But the thing is that one thing that I don't see is accountability. And the thing is that I can't tell you what to do with
If you
yourself.
ain't even trying to do it, that's my thing.
And the thing is that people. My point is this, Mo. When it comes to relationships, we have to be responsible for our connections. It don't matter how we met. If you met Rod fishing, for example, and y'all got together fishing or whatever, that's a beautiful romantic story. But there are some people that meet on apps. There are some people that meet at the corner store and they bang out in the back and they still be together 20 years later and happy go lucky. And then you have some people that be in relationships and then relationship after relationship, like you say, then they find somebody to be they random little what they call it, the when you get on somebody the rebound person.
All right.
The rebound. So we're not responsible for how we connect and commune with people. People, I tell people all the time, watch who you have your children by.
Yeah.
You watch who you have your children by. Because you may be good for me and I think that you're beautiful and I think that you're wonderful and you so educated and you like documentaries and shit.
18 years.
How many kids you got? How many kids you got?
Goose egg.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the goose egg myself. Well,
Goose
you
egg.
a little bit older, but
I mean, I agree to hold women responsible to an extent, but I do agree that it takes two.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other. I
And
think
I feel like
women.
when those-
I think women today. Well, men. Look, both men and women need to hold themselves to higher standards. Period. You know, listen to the radio. I listen to everything. This morning, the show song came on called "My Bitches," and I started to listen to it, and it was cool. And I was like, "Why am I listening to this?
Stand by, y'all. Stand by.
Why am I listening to this?"
I think sometimes women settle just because they don't want to be alone.
Mm.
Now that is
That-
a huge
I feel like
issue.
things was going on. That is why I have to stay here. I don't have nobody help take care of me. I need somebody to go have me on these bills. Somebody help me feed these kids. And so now I'm getting beat.
You are live. Again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in with us here. Again, this is your boy Q with the MTG crew. Thank you so much again for listening
got
to
10
us.
minutes.
We got about 15 minutes to the, oh no, we actually got
How does he tell time?
I don't know.
We got 5 minutes, 6 minutes actually. It's 11:54.
I know.
We got a few minutes.
6 minutes, baby. 54 plus 6.
Yeah,
My watch
so,
was
so
always on.
usually what we do at the end of the show, we give some encouraging words for the week.
We're not playing the game.
No, we ain't got
We
time to play.
play the game, Mo.
We play the game next week, Mo.
We'll play the game next week, Mo.
You changed so much.
Well, you know, Mo, if your rants wouldn't be so long and you would show up on time, maybe we could get some stuff done.
Shame.
Now that was Mo's shady moment. And Mo didn't even know it.
So, guys, I want you guys to give us some encouraging words on this week, and we want to start with our guests again. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on today. Please, again, make sure you feel free to plug yourself in, and after you guys leave, make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets, and then chime in whenever you're ready, and then again, we'll have you guys on the show again soon. Again, remind us when you guys have an event and all that good stuff.
May 25th, 12 to 2:30 at Pan African Connection, 4466 South Marsalis Avenue, United Eye, South of Violence.
All right.
Cliff.
Oak Cliff, that's my hood. What's your email address?
DFW@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
That's all.
Mr. Mike.
She pretty much said everything.
So y'all want to give our listeners any encouraging words this week?
Pretty much, it's a lot going on. So, the affirmation that I like to say every day is, I am peace, I am love, and I am light. Therefore, I speak peace, I speak love, and I speak life.
I like that. That's
All
beautiful.
right. That's what's up.
You can be anything you want to be. You change your mindset, you change your reality.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
Thank you so much, guys. Miss Mo, what you got? Oh, hell.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
Take your time.
That's it.
Just take your time.
Take your time.
Not telling people why you taking your time. Just take your time.
No, you take your time. It's your time. See, now
Reclaim your time.
Reclaim your time. See, yeah, you gotta take your time. You don't have to take. It's just like your opinion is yours. You ain't gotta explain yourself. Take your time. Do what you need to do. Take care of yourself. Take your time. See?
Thank you, Mo. Miss
They
Sunshine.
make me.
What you got, Miss Sunshine?
Love yourself.
Aww.
Nobody can love you like you do, and if you don't love you, who will?
I love you.
Don't you even bring that Barney mess up in here for real?
What you got, bro?
You know what? Someone will always be prettier. Someone will always be smarter. Someone will always be younger, but they'll never be you. And if that don't work, I gotta give you the flip side. A good nut and a nap make a lot of things go right.
Is Hendrix? Is Hendrix?
Am I wrong though? Am I wrong? See, can't nobody say I'm wrong though. You won't speak on it.
It's not that no one is saying you can't say you wrong. We just saying.
Magic 8 Ball says.
Reply hazy. Try again. But,
Well, that's what a little smoker do. That little smoker to help you.
Q, you got 2 minutes 6 seconds. Go.
Again, thank you guys, Ashley, Mike, for coming and joining us on today. Thank you so much. Man. We appreciate it. Okay, if I had to give any encouraging words on today, I think that I would say, make sure that you're doing the best you can for a fellow brother. I think that people nowadays, again, we're not showing enough love in the world. You know, let's embrace one another. Now, I'm not saying be a fool. I said let's embrace one another. You know, be a lender sometimes and not always a borrower. You know, and that does include mental information, any kind of thing that you can help somebody with, help someone create a business or help someone do something different. Let's spread the love, you know, and you know, knowledge is power, and if we share the knowledge, then we can be more powerful people in our personal and professional lives. And so I think that that's about all I have on today. Again, make sure you check us out right here next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, Mash Gas Talk Radio Show on the After Party Radio B-side. And making sure that, happy anniversary to the Petty Crew.
Yes.
We want to say happy anniversary. We right behind y'all at year 2, so we just want to say happy anniversary to you guys. Make sure that you guys stay tuned because we're going to have more information on our next After Party Live that's going to be coming up. My boy Hendrix is going to be on the panel. And I think we might be talking the battle of the sexes.
Is that
You ready for that?
relationship stuff? Because you know, like
It's going to be some relationship
Okay.
topics, Mo.
Are you gonna tell me how to get a man and stuff like that?
What? I'm not going to be a part. So I'm part of the panel this time.
No.
But as
I
a
would say
show
no.
is put together, we'll release more topics and what's going on. But we do know it's relationship oriented.
Oh, not how to get a man. I can sell tickets if y'all tell me how to get a man.
You
Them
can sell-
women want to know. Them women
Them
want to
women-
know.
There will be men
Hey,
there.
Kwame, don't you want to know?
I wanna know.
No! Got one ticket right here. Yeah.
All right,
Bill
y'all.
is gone. We'll see you guys on next week.
All right,
Thanks so much for
y'all.
joining. Peace out. God bless.
Woo!
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you had.
You missing the point, honey. You don't know the definition of a man. Definition of man is when you're married.
I thought she was attached. Sorry.
Does she have a piece of
Are you
paper down
single-ish?
Single-ish.
That's on our definition of
All
man.
right, y'all.
Excuse me, baby.
All right, everybody. We'll see y'all in a little bit, all right? We got to take a couple of pictures before we get out of here. So y'all set that up and do that.
Oh, I haven't turned that off yet. Hold on.
All right, guys.
This is a good song to get you through.
I know.